Hey everyone, I'm just making a video to help you guys with the Waves at Home assignment. So I want you guys to notice that in the week 22 folder, we have switched up to in-school and at-home assignments. So now that we are on the A-B schedule with two different groups of people staying at home or coming into school, this is how your assignments will look. In the in-school assignment folder will be what we do in school. So if you're in the group that's attending school that day, this is a folder you'll check for any assignments or worksheets or lab templates we're using. If you're at home, whether you're in group A or B, this is the folder you go to, and the assignment will be in there. So this is how you know if you're at home, what you do. If you're in school, this is how you know where to go and what to do. So here is the assignment we're going to be walking through today. I'm going to be making a demo of the Waves Review Gizmo to kind of wrap up everything we've been talking about with Waves. So when you click on this assignment and you open up the attached document, it's going to look like this. All right. So follow directions. That is the most important thing here to go through this simulation. Respond to the questions in the orange box here. So in the orange box is where you type your answers. All the action steps you need to do are going to be highlighted in blue. So like I said, following instructions here is really important because it's how you do everything. If you don't adjust this simulation correctly, you could wind up with the wrong answer or might not be making sense at all. So please make sure you are following instructions and looking for what you need to adjust next. This assignment is split up into 3 sections. The warm-up is 10 points, activity A is 10 points, and activity B is another 10 points. So it's going to be a 30-point assignment. So to start, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be clicking on the link here. This title is a link. If you click on it and go click on the link, it'll take you to Waves Gizmo that looks like this once you launch it. You need to sign in, otherwise you're going to be timed out at 5 minutes for the amount of time you can use the simulation, but once you sign in, you should be good to go. If you don't remember your sign in, or you can't, or you never have signed into Gizmos before, if you go to Schoology, there is a How to Join Explore Learning Gizmos right here. That is instructions as to how to join our class on Gizmos. Once you do all that, you'll be able to sign into this and get here. So pause this video now if you need time to figure all that out, and then come back and join us when you get that all figured out. If you need further help, make sure you contact me on Schoology, and I'll help get you squared away with an account. All right, so let's get started here. Like I said, this is going to be a walkthrough. I'm not going to be going over many answers. I'm going to be showing you how to do and adjust each bit of information here and what you need to do in order to get this to work correctly and to get the most out of it. So hopefully this helps. All right, so on this wave, you will have the simulation. You have these bars at the bottom you can adjust, and you have the type of wave you can adjust as well. You have play button, show grid, and show rulers. So what we're going to do is it says to begin, check that the wave is a transverse wave with an amplitude of 20 centimeters and a frequency of 0.75. Tension is set to 3, and the density is 1. Tension and density are things that affect waves. However, we're not going to be going into them much. We're just going to be using them to make the waves look correct and help you understand the waves better. So don't worry about what those mean too much. All right, so if I look down here, my amplitude is 20. My frequency is 0.75. My tension is 3. My density is 1. If you ever need to adjust these, it's easier to double click and type in need. All right, so that if you ever need a specific number, it will adjust it automatically instead of trying to slide it like this, which can take some time. So I suggest whenever it's time to adjust these things, you double click and type in the number you're looking for. It'll make it a lot easier. All right, so it says go ahead and click play. How would you describe the motion of this transverse wave? Then click pause. Notice the crest, high points, troughs, low points. So go ahead and play. So when it says hit play, you just let it go through a few times and then hit pause. So what do you notice about this wave? How is it moving? Remember, it says the crests are the high points, the troughs are the low points. So the high points at the top of the wave, low points at the bottom. This green line moves up and down, and this is gonna be a reference point for us. So tell me what this wave looks like. Tell me about what you think about this wave here. Click reset for number 2, right here. And then you'll be allowed to select the type of wave. Remember, we covered longitudinal waves, which are like sound waves when we started waves. And this is what this looks like. Back and forth slinky motion. And you can pause and play this to see the compressions and refractions in the wave. All right, so the warm-up is meant to help you understand how to use this, what to do with it, and all that kind of stuff. So when we get into activity A, I'll show you how to set it up, which is right here in blue. Click reset, select transverse, and then 20, 1, 2, and 2. All right, so click reset, go to transverse, 20. All right, it says set amplitude to 20, set frequency to 1, tension to 2, and density to 2. Set frequency to 1, set tension to 2, and density to 2. Let me double check to make sure I got that right. Yep. So this is what I mean when it says you need to adjust these things. If you skip over this information, the whole part of A will be super confusing, not make any sense. So in this one, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be measuring the waves, and we're going to be comparing the differences between longitudinal and transverse waves. So click play is the first instruction. So click play. And then it says, what is the motion of the hand? So this is the hand right there. What's it doing? Okay. Then it says turn off lights on the checkbox. All right, so right here, lights is on is checked. You want to uncheck that, which turns off the lights, just makes it darker. That helps you see this line that goes up and down. This helps show you the amplitude of the wave and the size of the wave. We're going to be doing some things with the rulers later to measure this line, and same when it is a longitudinal wave. We're going to be measuring the line that this makes. So this is the motion of the wave, and as you can see, it moves up and down as the wave moves left to right. So the wave motion is perpendicular to the energy of the wave, which is a good example of a transverse wave. So follow the motion of the crest. How does it move? Again, simply describing things in this box. We're not asking any difficult science questions here. Just asking you, what do you see? That's 90% of these labs that we do on Gizmo is what do you see? What does it do for you? Okay. So then it's going to say in a transverse wave, all right, the medium. So each point moves on a spring up and down as the wave moves left to right. That's what I just said. So it says with the lights on, click pause and then turn on show rulers. Use the ruler to measure the horizontal distance between two crests. So what I mean by that is you're going to turn the lights on here. You're going to pause it. All right. And show rulers. And you're going to you can drag and drop these rulers and use them to measure the distance between 2 points on the crest. So you can see that the top of the wave is here and the next top of the wave is there. So as long as you measure from the same line here to there, you can see that mine is approximately 100. So from here, the top of the next wave is there. So this would be 100. Okay. So this is the wave. All right, that's the wavelength. So we measured two crests, or the top of the wave. It's going to do the same thing to troughs, which is down here. All right, so crests are up top, troughs are on the bottom. Measure that, put the answer there. So then it'll say click reset, remeasure the wavelength. What was the wavelength of this wave? So it's going to have you change the density here. All right, you're going to have to click reset, change the density to 1, and then you click play again. And it's going to add, so then you're going to pause it and measure the distance between the tops of the waves. For the amplitude, it just says click reset. The amplitude transits waves the maximum distance from the point of the wave displaced or moved from resting position. So turn off the lights and use the vertical ruler to measure the height of the green trace. So then what you're going to do here, turn lights off, reset, hit play. So you see how this green trace moves up and down? I'm going to hit pause again, and we're going to use this ruler to measure the green trace. So mine comes out to approximately 40. And then the key here is that it says the wave's amplitude is equal to half of the height of this height. And then so you have to take this number, divide it by 2. Okay, so next you're going to do the same thing, but we're doing longitudinal waves. So you're going to have to click reset. I'm going to put the rulers away to help. And then reset your dials so that these things, oops, reset the dials so that these things are there. What is the motion of the hand? Turn off the lights. All right, so like I said, you have the amplitude is 10. It's going to be a longitudinal wave. So amplitude 10, frequency 1, tension 2, density 1. 2, density 1. Frequency is 1. All right, so this should be set up correctly, and it'll show you what you're supposed to be doing. So the compressions are the part where the wave, these little lines are close together. Refractions are where they're spread out, and that's what you're going to be measuring. All right, so that takes you through part A. Again, a lot of this is just following instructions, comparing and contrasting. All right, so make sure you're doing these things, following the instructions, and it's just asking you a lot of like, what is the distance? What is happening here? Okay, next up, we're going to have activity B. All right, so then with activity B, you're going to come back through and reset the gizmo like this, and then go through here. So when you get to this part here in the experiment, it's going to be asking you to increase the frequency and the wavelength and how those affect the wave. So the key there is to make sure you are adjusting the waves appropriately and falling and just observe what do you observe is key there. What I want you to understand when you do that is what are you observing? Okay, so adjust the amplitude, frequency, tension as described in the table below. All right, so it says adjust the amplitude and adjust the frequency. So you're actually not going to be using the tension or density. Okay, so when you increase the amplitude, how does that affect the wavelength and how does that affect the wave speed? So the wave speed is going to be listed right underneath there. So you see how it says wave speed? It says 141.4 centimeters per second. So when you adjust the frequency and the amplitude, be back on the transverse wave, how does that affect the wavelength and how does that affect the frequency? What does that do to the speed? So that's kind of the whole point of what we're doing here, is how do these things affect how the wave works and how the wave moves. So this part's going to take a little bit of your own exploration. Finally, when it goes down to wave speed here, you're going to reset, go to set the frequency to 80, tension to 2, density to 2, click play, then click pause, turn on show rulers. All right, so I'll demo this one. Frequency is, like I said, this is a good point to type it in. So 0.8 on the frequency, tension 2, density 2. 0.8. Tension is 2, density is 2. Okay, notice how it doesn't say anything about the amplitude, all right, because you should have learned back here, the amplitude doesn't affect the wavelength. So what is the wavelength? Hit play. Are you going to let it go for a couple minutes here? Or not minutes, seconds. And then click show rulers, and then you're going to be measuring, like we did last time, the distance between 2 points on the wave. So from 0 here, that comes out to about, if this is 120, that middle line's 130, that would be 140. So I'd say anywhere in 130. And again, some of your answers can be slightly different based on your measurements and where you place your ruler. So as long as you're in the ballpark, you'll be marked correct. So please make sure you're doing that. So what is the wavelength? Put that number in here. All right. And then what is the speed? It'll tell you right there. It says 100 centimeters per second. Sorry, wrong screen. All right, so how are the wavelength and frequency related to speed? Okay, so when I say that, look at your table up here. How, when you change these, how does that affect the wave speed? That's what I'm looking for in this box. Then I want you to do a test here, calculate this. All right, so remember we use the triangle, cover up what you're looking for. The wave speed is on the top, and then it'll reveal your equation at the bottom, which is actually right here. So do the math here, and then you're going to check your answer. All right, so you're going to then set the wave, the frequency here, and you're going to check to answer. Was your wavelength correct? So did what you calculated line up with what you did with the wave? So was your calculation that we've been practicing, does it check out? Does it match? And that goes here. Yes, no, and maybe a Y would help too. All right, so that takes us through this assignment. Hopefully this helps. Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and ask. This is a 2-day assignment, so that's what we're supposed to be doing at home while you're there for your at-home session. So please make sure you don't leave this to the last minute. Watch this video, pause it, rewind it as many times as you need, and come to my office hours if you need help additionally. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in class.